All right, this is gonna be a little bit of a different video, but I just had to share this with you guys. Did you see this orange colored bass? This is not Photoshop, this is not AI. This is actually a legitimate orange colored fish that was caught not too long ago. This thing is absolutely crazy. I have never seen a bass quite like this. I've seen albino catfish, but I've never seen an orange, I mean pumpkin fluorescent colored bass like this. So in this video, I'm actually gonna talk a little bit about this bass. Also, I have some questions for some of the regular viewers of this channel and of Bass Fishing HQ. I'm thinking about like content moving forward, and I just have some questions for you guys, so feel free to leave your answers down below in the comments. Now, before we get into it, this video is brought to you by Fin Fishing Apparel. And for the month of September 2025, I'm running a package deal on the website. You can get a USA made sun shirt, one of the only ones made here in the US, and a duck hat. The reason it's called a duck hat is because it's waterproof, super lightweight. You can get them as a package for $64. So it is a fantastic deal. Right now is a great time to save. So I'm gonna leave some links down below in the description. Shopping at Fin Fishing is truly the best way to help support this channel. All right, let's talk a little bit about this bass. This thing is absolutely insane. I'm sure maybe you guys have seen this, maybe you haven't. I was surfing the web, saw an article that Wired to Fish put out, which showed this fish. I thought it was fake, as you may thought it was fake, but this is legit. This fish was caught down in Tennessee, which coincidentally it was caught in Tennessee just because I'm thinking of the Tennessee Vols. They are an orange color, not quite the same orange. It only would have been better if Bill Dance caught this fish, but he did not. But anyways, an orange colored bass was caught, I believe in an impoundment called Cordon Hall Lake. It's like a 12 or 13,000 acre lake. But long story short, the reason that this fish is discolored this way is because it has what they call I'm sure I am butchering this, so do not make fun of me. Actually, you can make fun of me. I don't really care. It's called like xanthochrysm. I'm sure someone has probably heard of it, but this is some sort of weird pigmentation disorder that has happened before in other fish. It actually happens in other animals as well, like frogs and birds, according to the article. But also, like, they've seen it in saltwater species like snook and grouper. They've seen it in freshwater species as well. But I would imagine that there are more bass that we never see that are this way. I also would imagine that there are bass that probably never get past about this big without being eaten by other bass that are actually discolored in this way. So I just had to share it with you because this is legitimately, I cannot imagine setting the hook on a fish and bringing a freaking goldfish looking bass out of the water. Like, this thing is absolutely insane to me. I don't know if you guys remember this, but like a year or two ago, Alex Rudd over at Alex Rudd Fishing, he caught a smallmouth bass down in Tennessee too. I believe that was like half of it. You guys have seen the black spots that are on bass. Literally half of this smallmouth was like completely black. Like, as in his words, it looked like it was literally just like dipped in a paint can. Like, the whole thing was like half of it was black. Just an insane looking fish as well. So something must be going on in the waters down there in Tennessee. I don't know what y'all are doing down there. That's just a joke, obviously. But anyways, I want to talk a little bit about that bass just because I thought it was insane. Also, I just had a few questions for some of the regular viewers on this channel and over on Bass Fishing HQ. I'm thinking about just switching up content in general. You know, I've been doing a lot of videos over the years that are all education based videos, both on this channel and over on Bass Fishing HQ. And I don't know. I'm just thinking about switching some things up, even over on this channel. Like, you know, today I talked about that bass. It's almost like a newsy worth thing. And I don't know if you guys remember a number of years ago when they used to have Bass Saturdays on ESPN, they had what was called Bass Center. And it was just a really cool, like, to me, it was like a really cool show. It was like Sports Center, but it was in the bass fishing realm. They talked about things in the fishing. And so I kind of thought recently about doing something in that manner where maybe it was just once a week over on this channel, the Tyler Berger channel, that I would just talk about like news that is going on in the industry, whether it's, you know, lures and manufacturing, different things like that, professional fishing, random things like this fish that was caught down in Tennessee. So I do not know if that would interest you guys or not, but feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Also, like, the other thing that I've been thinking a lot of, you know, Bass fishing on the YouTube space, like it has changed so much over the years. Like it changed so much in between when it really got started and when I really started. Like I started doing a lot on the YouTube stuff in 2020, 2021. Like in 21, I'm like, I'm gonna do 3 videos a week until I try to figure out how to do YouTube. And you know, since then I've been doing it. I've been so blessed to be able to do this full time. And I feel, just like I said, I feel so blessed by it. But things have changed a lot, especially in like the last year or two. There are so many people doing YouTube content. There's so many people doing YouTube in general. And I try to separate myself, maybe not necessarily on this channel, maybe a little bit. Like on this channel, my whole thing is really about, I don't care about mega views on this channel. I don't care if this video gets 100 views. I don't care if it gets 10 million views, which it never would. But I just want to really be an asset and a resource to anglers to talk about nitty-gritty things within the fishing world. You know, we talk about little things like the other day. We talked about hooks, and we talk about really tiny things on this channel that I don't care if it gets a lot of views. Now, over on BassFishingHQ, it's a little bit more of a production. I do a lot more editing over there, and I try to make it to where it applies to fishermen as a whole. But with that being said, a lot of it is in the education realm as well. So anyways, I've just thought a lot about bass fishing and bass fishing content and just the ebbs and flows of it over the last couple of years. And I just want to know from you guys, like, you know, I asked this over on BassFishingHQ the other day, like, what are some of your favorite channels that you listen to right now or watch? Like, what are some channels that you just can't wait to watch? What would you like to see on, for example, BassFishingHQ? And it can be anything. You know, I would just love to know. Look, I have some really good ideas. As you guys may know, I'm a very analytical person. I can look at analytics. I can tell you typically if a video is going to perform well and if it's not. Sometimes I really care if they perform well on BassFishingHQ. Sometimes I don't, you know. And so with that being said, though, I just like want to know from the people who watch a lot of the content that I produce, like what would you like to see more of? You know, in general, you know, it can be anything. Like I said, it could be more tests on equipment, you know, like I do that over on BassFishingHQ a lot. People love that. It can be the Lake Break series videos. People love that. You know, I've done a lot with study videos over the years, and guys absolutely eat that up as well. The only thing is like there's not a ton of new studies that go on. There are some, but there are some that just aren't worth covering at all because they tell you nothing when it comes to bass fishing. And then there's like the typical, like the typical education style video where I am teaching and showing you whether it's a technique, something that I have learned, or something that can help you to catch more fish. There's so many different things. I'm just intrigued by what you guys may think and what you guys like look for these days, if that makes sense. Because I'm always looking to just be a little bit different if I can. And obviously at the end of the day, I want to provide the viewer with what the viewer wants to see as far as videos and stuff like that goes. So also would love to know how many of you guys hunt. You know, again, I'm a very analytical person. We are going into a very dead season when it comes to bass fishing. Like October, November, December, January, those are like the pits of bass fishing. And, you know, I would say that for the most part, it's because 1, people are back to school. 2, you have a lot of cold weather. And 3, you have a lot of hunters. You know, a lot of guys that their attention goes on hunting. And I have some friends who are hardcore bass fishermen, but when hunting comes around, you know, especially because it's such a seasonal thing, it is all that they want to think about. It is all that they want to consume as well. And so anyways, I do not hunt. I have been hunting. I don't have the patience to hunt. Something that I have found out over the years is that it requires it requires some patience to fish, but it requires a different level of patience to hunt. And that I have not acquired. I have not acquired that patience. Maybe after raising my 3 boys, I will have more patience. But right now, to sit like in a tree stand, in a whatever, and like wait for hours on end with barely any talking, that is a different patience level. But anyways, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below in the comments. There's so many things that you can do in content, but I would love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out that fin fishing gear, and I will see you guys tomorrow.